Good morning everyone. Myself Swati Jain. I am social study lecturer of Swami Atmanand Government English Medium School Sector 6 Bhilai. Today I am explaining the chapter 11. It is the first chapter of class 9th social study political science. The chapter name is the idea of democracy and its spread. And my topic is the story of Myanmar. Let's start with the democracy in Myanmar. Like India, Myanmar too was a British colony. The country is a prominent producer of rice and the country is rich in forest resources like teak, mineral, tin, semi-precious stone like sapphire and ruby. It gained its independence 5 months after India. It became a parliamentary democracy with two legislative assemblies, just like India, under the leadership of Aung San. In Myanmar, democratic elections were held in the years of 1951, 1956, and 1960. It is a necessary to include equal right to all it necessary. If minority is not given voting right, then system will be called democracy. You can see the map of Myanmar in my screen. Look at here. This is the country of Myanmar. Now, I am explaining about why was the democracy not successful in Myanmar after independence. There was a different tribe groups in Myanmar. Their leader after independence had an agreement with the mutual interactions which determined right for all tribal groups and also minority were tried to be included in democracy. Due to this agreement, in starting years, democratic government had run. But after 1960, problem was arose related to tribal right. Their rights could be drawn only out of the strong administrative framework, and their lack of such framework in Myanmar, military worked strictly against tribe. In opposition of these, many tribes rose weapons. There was democracy failed in Myanmar and military took over power here. Now I am explaining the military rule in Myanmar. Myanmar faced many complex problems related to tribal rights. The country required a strong instructional structure to address and resolve these problems, but it did not have such strong instruction or institutions. So, the army took control of many tribal regions and established its rule. Many tribes took up arms to oppose the military takeover. The army began suppressing the rebels. Army Chief Jan Nevin overviewed the duly elected government in 1962 and took over the control of country. General Nevin to nationalize the industrial and mineral resources sectors and also declared free universal education, free medical facilities for all citizens. Between 1962 and 65, many laws were passed to control the powerful landlords and curb money lending activities. The laws sought to protect the land and property rights to small peasants as well as the interest of sharecroppers. Now I am explaining the result of military rule in Myanmar. The military rule tried to gain the confidence of the people by showing that they were working for welfare. The nationalist of industries and mines, this brought of all natural resources under the army control. Poverty faced the peasant to work on the farm, which were now run by the army. Their children were also forced into bondage of the army. There were many allegations of human rights violation against the military administrators. People were evicted from their homes and forced to work as a bonded laborers. Child labor was also harshly exploited in Myanmar. The protests against military rule were mostly spread hardly by the students. A major protest broken out in 1988, which was brutally suppressed by the army. Thousands of the protesters were killed. Following the protest, one army faction took over the rights of government, promising to hold election. It was during the period that the Aung San Suu Kyi, the daughter of assassinated Aung San, launched a movement for political reform the country. She has since emerged as the leader of Burma's struggle for democracy. Now I am explaining the role of Aung San Suu Kyi in playing in establishing the democracy in Myanmar. The Aung San Suu Kyi was the main leader in battle of establishment of democracy. She started struggle in establishing democracy. In this year 2010, under consideration of United Nations, elections were held in Myanmar. Even then, Suu Kyi was detained. She was not left free from the jail. She was detained from participating the election. Her party NLD to oppose did not participated the elections. Consequence was that the Union Solidarity and Development Party, having support of military, won the election on the corruption allegations were made. Military government ended in Myanmar. Then Aung San Suu Kyi became the new president there. Still, was control or military. Maximum nations of the world did not validate this election. In 2011, in Myanmar, election was held for 45 seats. In this election, party of Suu Kyi NLDT participated and won 4 seats. And this was the participation of party of Suu Kyi is proof of commencement of democracy in Myanmar. The whole credit goes to the Aung San Suu Kyi. You can see the pic of Aung San Suu Kyi in my screen. Now I am telling about some changes in Myanmar. Many changes took place in Myanmar in 2008. The military government announced a public referendum of establishing democracy in the country, but the referendum was never conducted. The name of country was changed from Burma to Myanmar. An election was held in 2010 under the supervision of United Nations. However, Aung San Suu Kyi remained under the house arrest and was barred from contesting. She was released only after the election. Her party boycotted the election in protest. As a result, the military backed Union Solidarity and Development Party engaged victorious amidst accommodation of electoral malpractices. The military junta was dissolved and then Aung San Suu Kyi was elected the new president of country. But the army controlled to exercise the control behind the scenes. Hence, the most countries in the world did not consider the election to be legitimate. In 2011, by-elections were held on 45 seats. This time, Aung San Suu Kyi contested, winning in 43 seats. Aung San Suu Kyi released an NLD's participation in the elections made in beginning the democracy rule in Myanmar. Now, comparing Libya and Myanmar. The welfare measure undertaken in the Libya fulfilled the fundamental need of the people. They gave the people the opportunity to improve their living standard through education and development and employment. The Myanmar also initiated some welfare measures, including land reform laws, but the army exploited the people and the country's natural resources. As a result, the people were mired in poverty. In both countries, the ruling government had the active backing of army. Myanmar was different from the Libya. Myanmar started with a democratic government, but the military took over the reins of government. In Libya, the army took over power and abolishing the monarchy. Both countries lacked the enabling conditions for a healthy democracy to flourish. The people of both nations wanted freely elected government. They wanted freedom of expression. They wanted the freedom of protest against the wrongdoing. They wanted political parties that could act free and independently. And then the Aung San Suu Kyi was awarded Nobel Prize for Peace in Myanmar in 1991. She was under house arrested at that time. In her absence, her son accepted the award on her behalf. Thank you for watching my video. Have a wonderful day.